Good morning, traders. This is Wilkey with StartupTrading.com. It is Tuesday, July 28th, 2020. It is 8:51 a.m. Eastern Time. So looking at, we're going to get into this real quick today. So the only news on the schedule for the U.S. today, besides headline risk for the stimulus between the Democrats, the Republicans, and the White House going back and forth, you have some headline risk all week until that's signed, if it is even signed this week. You have consumer confidence this morning at 10 o'clock. Then, of course, you got tomorrow pending home sales at 10. The Fed at basically from 2 o'clock to close tomorrow p.m. So looking at earnings, we have Boeing tomorrow before the bell, so keep that in mind. And then Facebook will either be tomorrow after the bell, we'll talk about it tomorrow, or it was moved until Thursday after the bell with Amazon, Apple, and Google. So we'll double check that, and we have plenty of time to worry about that one. So as we look at what's happened overnight, 31 3/4 points overnight. If you look at where the level 4s are, they go down to basically 31.80 and up to 32.85. And if you look at where we're at, this purple line really marks the gap that's been in play since the vaccine hope come into play on July 15th. So looking at it since then, we'll zoom in to the what's going on overnight. So basically we've come down, we've touched the overnight low. We did fill this raceway if you look in the overnight session, right? This raceway traded basically last Thursday afternoon. So that goes between 32.35 half and 32.46. It really doesn't count as traded, or it needs re-auction until it does it during the bell. So even though we did it overnight, let that be a precursor, and notice that the overnight high is basically a marker now right at the top side of that raceway. So above or below the overnight high is going to be a little bit more critical if we do indeed get up there in the session. So looking at all the indexes, I have some blue marks up here at the above the yesterday's bell high, and that is basically for trades that went off after the bell for everything but the Dow last night that was above the print before futures closed. So as we look at that, if we don't trade over the zone basically before the euro close, or call it noon Eastern time, this is going to be resistance probably the entire rest of the session, and I wouldn't look for a climb above it late afternoon unless they start raining some money this afternoon and announce that the helicopters are taking off with it. So as we look at where we're at, overnight low, inside of value, overnight low, inside of value, overnight low, inside of value, overnight low, below yesterday's low, and it's trading below value area low now for the Dow. The rest of them are trading inside of value or value area low right now, so I wouldn't take it too much in there. Remember that for the NASDAQ, we do have that raceway that was repaired yesterday, this first one between 10,607 and 10,650 quarter. The next one above, which did trade in the overnight session as well, is 10,724 to 10,770 quarter. So keep that in mind. So basically you have to get above the overnight high as well for that one to get into the upper distribution of the three distributions from last Thursday for the NASDAQ. So looking at the Russell, and we're just flirting with this 1478.90 level as we look to see if we're going to stay above or below. So I think that's going to be a nice little line in the sand for the bulls and bears this morning. It's right at the valley in this node, and as we look below there, we've got 1462.60 still and 1496.30. I could see us just washing back and forth of this valley today and even filling in between the peaks of the valley. So that'd be like 1486 down to 1473, and just kind of seeing if we can do something about this and take this obvious point of support and resistance and remove it, and then we'll take it off of our drawing set, and we'll just look at the outer edges. But it's the outer edges. You're in the middle of the zone, just like most of the things that are trading right now for the equities. So as we look at the Dow, it's a little bit cleaner, right? We got down to this 26,297 in the overnight session, basically, and the next resistance I have above there is 26,510. Below this, I really don't have anything significant until we get down to 25,750. That's a large drop, so I'm going to go ahead and put an intermediate level on here. This is a sloppier level, but I think it could come into play. And we'll duplicate it and put another one above it. So basically that's going to be 26,004 to 26,142 is the next minor, and I do mean minor. If I could use a less than a solid dashed or dotted, I would use that on this and make it even more faint. So looking back at the indexes, and really, my preface for this week was that Monday and Tuesday were going to be, range-bound, choppy days within the sessions that we've been trading in, the entire week. And I don't think that's changing, right? So watch these yesterday's bell high and these blue water marks or blue sky marks, as the case is for today. Trading above that, right, should give us a run towards these overnight highs, especially for the ES and the NASDAQ. And then we'll see what happens after that. You could start getting some, another squeeze up. Net inventory is net short, even though we did trade up last night over the bell. There's a lot more traders caught short right now and people trying to grab support right now than there are people trapped to the long side at this point in time. I hope this helps. If you like this technical analysis, give this video a thumbs up, and I will talk to you tomorrow. I will be shooting out the overnight ranges for the value areas shortly after 9:30 when they finish the statistics for them, or I do. I use that data all the way from the opening of the last night's session through this morning at 9:30. Take me a few minutes to get it, parse it, and send it up. So within 10 minutes after the opening bell, I'll have that overnight value areas for each of these four equity indexes out for you to use as an extra gauge this morning, and I hope it'll help you. You guys have a